I'm very glad to be here today with Peter Osborne, one of the most outstanding members of the community in the region, and he is also the president of the Conservative Association. Peter, what is, in your opinion, one of the biggest issues in the United Kingdom at the moment?
Well, first of all, Leon, welcome to Switzerland. I'm sorry, we've got rain, although it's welcome. I'm not sure that we always welcome it when it comes and the amount that it comes. You ask, Leon, what I think the most important issues are facing the country at the moment. And although immigration has been the flashpoint and has been a very divisive flashpoint, could I just for the moment set that part aside and say, as far as I'm concerned, the most pressing problem is the economy, because the economy decides on the cost of living that each and every one of us has to pay on our household bills every week, every month. Secondly, it has the problems of jobs for young people. And anybody with families do understand the difficulty that their family have when they're applying for jobs. There aren't the jobs there. There may be some jobs in certain industries, but they're very limited, and you have to have specialist knowledge of it. And the impact then of AI on jobs. So the economy for me is the most important, and I'm very apprehensive about what's going to come to us at the end of November. And sometimes I think government has a difficulty in trying to tie everything together and not really understanding the consequences sometimes of what they're doing. For instance, I'm involved with several charities, and on one of them, whereby we are almshouses that we run, we receive no grants, we receive no money from the government, and yet the legislation from the last Chancellor's budget landed us with another 150,000 costs, which we have to find from somewhere. And we're not in the business as a charity of pushing people out of their homes or cutting down the care side that we give to them. So for me, the economy is very important. And if you want to underestimate it, then have a look at what's happened to France. France has just had another election within their parliament, and they've had their 5th Prime Minister within 2 years. The economy for not only England, but for other countries has to be addressed. And in addressing it, you cannot keep on looking at extra taxes and you're taking away money that goes into the economy. What you do have to look at is the benefit. And nobody wants to be unpopular and say, we've got to cut benefits. But unfortunately, there are parts of benefits that are totally unsustainable. And any economist would say to you, they are unsustainable. The trouble is that no government, and I include the last one as well as the present one has even bigger phobia about addressing benefits. But it will have to be addressed. We cannot bankrupt our children and our grandchildren. That's just not on.
Thank you, Peter. That's a very good insight. So do you think actually the current government is performing well in the economy?
No, I'm disappointed because I thought the first announcements from Rachel Reeves when she was going to cut the winter allowance before she withdrew it, I thought that's the right step. You are at least addressing and starting to address some of the problems which you know are going to be unpopular, but you didn't stick with it. And it's not having a clear policy of what you're going to do and how you're going to arrive at it that will define whether a government is successful or not. If I could turn to immigration, because immigration is in some ways connected with employment, the economy. It is very divisive. The last few days of the marches that have been in London and around the country, the protests over it, it is very divisive. And it is very easy in a way to say, look, if we came out of the European right of human rights, things would then be more soluble. However, if you were to do that, the difficulty is that the legislation underpins the Good Friday Agreement, which has held peace in Northern Ireland for years. Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom. It would have a knock-on effect, and I think a fairly disastrous one. We have to, in many ways, keep our word and our faith to all parts of the United Kingdom. It is a difficulty to find a solution, but solutions are there to be found. But a quick, easy answer to say, right, we'll just swipe that with one easy movement, is not, to my mind, a very considered way of approaching politics. And I think when we're talking of approaching politics, you have to believe that politics has standards and leadership which it provides. And that leadership and the standards which it provides are ones that we should be teaching our children and our grandchildren. And at the moment, unfortunately, the Prime Minister has, whether it's a culmination of bad luck or whatever, the difficulty is that what has been happening over the last few weeks has eroded people's faith in the officials whom we ask to stand for public office or within politics. And it erodes everybody's faith that they are doing exactly what we expect them to. That, I think, is sad. And I think it's a sad reflection if that is going to be a standard that emanates around us.
Peter, thank you very much. That was a fantastic insight of some of the burning problems in this country. Do you have anything else in your mind to say?
No. It may sound as though I have foreboding, but I would say to anybody, hope is what life is about. And unless you have a great feeling that you can make a difference, that you can make your family, your village, your world much better, that's what I look forward to. And there are solutions to everything. May not please everybody in the short term, but no, I look forward to what life has got to offer and what I can offer to life itself. And I do believe that we, each of us, have a contribution to make to society for the betterment of society. That might sound airy-fairy stuff. Sorry, I believe it.
Excellent. Peter, thank you very much. That was fantastic.